There you go.
Now we are. Okay, awesome. Welcome everybody. One Team Leadership Call. I'm super excited to be here tonight. I have a special guest with me who's going to help me co-host this evening, as well as our other one-time leaders, Trisha Wilkins, give a little wave there, and Sybil Imo. Nicole Hammondtree and Anne-Marie Spalatro are unavailable this evening. Anne-Marie's on a plane and Nicole's taking care of things at home. So tonight, I am super excited to share with you something that I found a couple months ago through Susan Miller. How many of you know who Susan Miller is, just by a show of hands? Awesome. And I saw her pencil pitch probably back in June, and I became really obsessed with it. And for those of you that were at Celebration, Susan did a wonderful job presenting what we call the pencil pitch. I like to call it how to create an income producing asset. And so I'm going to start the call out tonight by sharing a little bit about that. And then I'm going to go into kind of a second portion of the call with Morningstar. So let me introduce you guys to Morningstar Ramsey, actually Morningstar Hayward. She is a newlywed. You got to change your last name on there, Morningstar. Morningstar is the person that enrolled me in Isagenix 10 years ago. Kind of a funny story. Some of you may have heard it, but she enrolled me. However, her account was in her husband's name. So about 5 years later, she then re-enrolled under me because that became her ex-husband. So she enrolled on my team as one of my consultants. Actually, she is a manager, 1-star Silver Circle, and she is diving into the business. Morningstar has years of experience in the wellness industry. Over 20 years, she used to own her own wellness facility in Breckenridge, Colorado. That's how we became friends. We worked out together there. And Morningstar is also a Reiki master. And she's recently, over the past year, she's dove into something brand new where she has become a business success coach for online entrepreneurs. And really, she's got lots of different hacks and ideas and suggestions around the mindset and what it takes to be successful as an online entrepreneur. So she is going to help co-host with me this evening, and we've got some good stuff to share. Morningstar, you want to just say hello?
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Bethany, for that introduction. It's great to be here. I'm super excited to share a few insights. I'm sure a lot of them are going to be just like great reminders for you. You might hear something in a different way, or you might learn something new, who knows? But yeah, I've been working in the online coaching realm, coaching coaches on how to build and grow successful online companies. I've been a mindset coach for, concentrated past year, little more. But yeah, like Bethany said, I come out of the wellness industry. Personal growth and spiritual development are my jam, always has been. Of course, also with alongside, optimizing our human potential in mind, body, and soul. And that's why Isagenix is always really fit for me. When I did own my wellness center in Breckenridge, I coached my clients on Isagenix, although I really wasn't aligning, I wasn't ready for the business opportunity. I enjoyed the financial perks that I was generating at that time, but I really wasn't all in. And I guess I just have to say I had my own journey to go on. And fast forward about 10 years later, I've cycled back, and I'm just looking forward to sharing a little bit more insight of what I've learned about being an entrepreneur, being in business for oneself, and the online world over time as well. So we'll get into more of that later. But yeah, thanks so much for having me, and I'm excited.
I'm really excited that you're here with us too. And I just know that Star, I call her Star. She is a twin sister, Evening Star, who goes by Eve. I call her Star. So we've got Eve and we have Star. So Star really has a lot to bring to the team, to the whole big one team. So I'm very excited that she's here with us tonight. So how many of you were at Celebration and had the opportunity to see Susan Miller's pencil pitch? Just by a little raise of hands. Okay, great. So have any of you taken the time to really learn this so you're comfortable with sharing it with other people? I came home from Celebration, and for me, that was first and foremost, I had to learn this. I had to learn it because I wanted to be comfortable sharing this with other people, because really what we have in Isagenix, we have an incredible solutions-based company, but as a lot of us always say, our best solution is our wealth creation. And I know for me, yes, I've gotten my health back on track. I've helped so many thousands of other people get their health on track or achieve optimal health, better performance in the gym, age more youthfully, all of our solutions. But really what has made the biggest difference in my life is having the financial freedom with my family and being able to live life as I design it and I create it, sharing this gift of Isagenix with other people. And so one of the ways that I kind of intrigued Morningstar to come back in was I said, hey, I've created this little YouTube video. It's 7 minutes long. Would you take some time to watch it for me? I'd love to get your feedback. And what she knew Isagenix was years ago was really a whole lot more than just creating an income producing activity. It was, a lot of coaching people and a lot of enrolling people and, all the different facets there are to our business. So she came back in really from a business mindset as to, I'd be silly not to do this because I've been eating the food for 10 years. I love Isagenix. And she always, will share Isagenix with people, but why not look at really just bringing people in for the business? I know Sybil and Trisha both, you do a beautiful job at, when you share Isagenix with people, the business and the products are all one. It's not, do you want to come in for the business or do you want to come in for the products? Do you want to come into Isagenix, right? Because it's what it is. And that was a little foreign to me when I first joined Tribe Time and joined all these amazing leaders. Was I didn't add people to my business page unless they piqued a little interest in the business. They were only in my product page. And Sybil was like, Bethanny, what are you doing? You're crazy, So yeah, shame on me. So I've learned so much from these women.
It says cooked from frozen steak.
Oh, hang on. Let me get her. Oops. She got it. Okay. Nicole's joining us. Yay! Happy to have you here, Nick. So anyhow, yeah, I learned from Sybil and Trisha and Nicole and all of them that, no, we need to be showing people the business opportunity right away. And I believe I've done a much better job at doing that. So I'm going to share with you my screen real quick, and I'm just going to pull up a couple little slides that I created this afternoon just for all of you to share. So this is basically my pencil pitch. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah, okay, cool. So, and Morningstar, please jump in here with me, just as you feel fit for sure. So how many of you have seen the Cash Flow Quadrant by Robert Kiyosaki? It's something that, it's kind of well known in the entrepreneur industry, I believe. And it starts with the employee and the the left side, there we go. And then the business owner and the investor on the right side of the quadrant. I personally, I'll share my story and I'll have Star share hers as well. Like most of us, I started as an employee, working for Ritz-Carlton's. I was in hospitality. And then I became a self-employed individual where I had cross-contracting. I used to build and sell spec homes. I also had the dog house, which was a dog daycare and boarding facility. And I had a coffee shop, all in Breckenridge. And, being the self-employed person was great, but I never really had any sort of time freedom. I was married to those businesses. Star, do you want to share a little bit there about just where you were in the quadrant?
Yeah, absolutely. I had a brick and mortar business, like we mentioned before, in Breckenridge. It was a wellness center. And I believe Joy and Robert they visited there at one point too. And, you know, I mean, it was really great, but there was only so far I could grow. You know, there's definitely a ceiling that comes with a brick and mortar. And in addition, I was in a ski resort town living my lifestyle. You know, I'm really passionate about the lifestyle that I live, and you know, I was really knocked down in the recession. So, you know, was a brick and mortar is not impervious. You know, being a business owner is typically not impervious to these economic downturns and these tsunamis that come through every once in a while, and that we know we really don't have any control over. So that was really devastating for me at the time. You know, just to really not have a financial foundation underneath my feet. And my business relied on disposable income, right? So as did, you know, the whole entire town. A ski resort, you know, vacation touristy town is going to rely on tourism, right? And people travel and all that. Even second homeowners, you know, they're using their disposable income. So yeah, that was a big part of the beginning of the end for me, for that chapter of my life, and ended up moving back to Oregon, and went to work for small corporations. You know, went to work as a manager for holistic day spas and luxury salons and so on and so forth.
The S back to the E.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I went from the
for more stability.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So for me, well, first of all, I'm going to go to the next slide and just share a little bit with that. But Star introduced me to Isagenix at the perfect time in my life, because as a builder, 2009 is when I got into Isagenix, and I was just making a little bit of cash here and there. But you guys know how we get paid daily. Well, those daily PIBs, those PIBs, I was counting on those, because being a business owner, it was so great just to have that, you know, $100 PIB coming in on a daily basis for helping people, basically. So let's talk just a little bit more about the quadrant, more in depth. If you notice, the left-hand side of the quadrant, that's where 95% of the population lives, but only 5% of the wealth. But on the right side of the quadrant, you've got only 5% of the population and 95% of the wealth. Basically, what this means, the difference is, over here, you're spending time to make your money. You're trading your time for money. This is linear income. And on this side of the quadrant, if you can move to the right side, it becomes leveraged income, where you've got something working for you. So, for example, as a business owner, you've got people working with you, and that's going to leverage your income. And then as an investor, your money works for you, okay? So with Isagenix, when you first come in, you know, it is going to be a little bit of linear income, but you can very quickly start creating that leveraged income by helping other people and by building your team. And I'm going to just show you real quick how simple it is. And think about Isagenix this way. You know, it's just word of mouth marketing, right? How many of you have told somebody about a great restaurant that you've gone to recently, or a great movie you've watched? Imagine if you can just tell them about this income producing asset. They can eat their overhead, which is their Isagenix. They can get paid on their only overhead, and they can create an income producing asset. So I'm going to use two different examples to show you guys this. And the first one I'm going to use, you may have to move things around on your screen so you can see the whole thing. But the first example I'm going to use is just starting people with 100 BV. You know, we've got the Meet the Need packs, which are $5 each. They can consist of one of the, you know, basically the maintenance packs, or the Shaken Isagenesis pack, also known as the Forever pack. And your initial investment with one of those packs at 100 BV is approximately $170. Now, in these examples, I'm not showing you tax, or I'm not including tax and shipping on them. So let's just say you come in, you spend approximately $170, you get yourself your Meet the Need pack, whatever that is. Dana is a great example. Dana started the other day, she got the CBD, 2 bone broth, and 2 essential oils. For allergy purposes, she can't use any of her shakes, So that was a great way for her to get started. Her initial investment with tax and shipping was like $190. So approximately $170. She comes in, she brings in 2 people. She's already brought in 1, yay, Dana, halfway to consultant, halfway to crystal consultant, actually. So congratulations to you. So let's just say she brings in her 2 people. She's gonna earn PIBs of $20, $10 on each for a 100 BV pack. Then she will also, if she does that within 30 days of upgrading her account to associate, she will also receive a Crystal Consultant RAB, which stands for Rank Advancement Bonus. The PIB is, for those of you that don't know, is Product Introductor Bonus, and that's basically 10% of whatever the BV is. So if you bring in 2 people with 100 BV, you've got a $20 PIB that you've earned, 10 on each. And then the Crystal Consultant, as I mentioned, it's within 30 days of upping your account to associate, you can earn $150 as an RAB. Then let's say that then you help your 2 friends bring in their 2 friends with 100 BV. You're now going to earn a consultant development bonus, $100 for each of them. And if you do that within 60 days, you also receive an additional $250 Crystal Manager bonus. So that's a total of $620. I mean, you've got your return on investment is paid for 100%. You've made about $400 and you're eating your overhead. This is literally an income producing asset when you look at it this way. And the next slide I'm going to show you is building with the value pack. So when you come in with the value pack, your initial investment's approximately $600. You bring in your first 2 people, you're going to earn $400 in PIBs, and that's for bringing in 2 people with the value packs. And you'll earn your Crystal Consultant Rank Advancement Bonus for $150. You'll get $100 for helping each of your friends become a consultant, which is another $200. And then you'll also get your Crystal Manager bonus if you do it within 60 days. If you make this little triad right here within 60 days, you'll get another $250. So again, you're earning $1,000, 100% return on investment. You're putting $400 in addition back into your pockets. So either way you build, whether it's with a 100 BV pack, whether it's with the value pack, or you can do some of both. You know, sometimes I have people that want the value pack. Sometimes I have people like Dana that just wanted to come in with 100 BV. And so you find what works best for that customer and what works best within your organization. But the bottom line is this little triad right here simply can become your income producing asset. Sorry, is there anything you want to add to any of those slides?
You know, the only thing that I would add, which is really just obvious here, is what an incredible opportunity this is, because even once you earn the bonuses, you know, and all of the you know, you earn all this $1,000 bonus, you're still building all of this, all of the business volume underneath you. So as long as this continues to grow, you're getting paid on all of that. So it doesn't just end at the bonuses. It just keeps on growing.
Yeah, what we're showing you here is really just bonus money. This is all just bonus money. This is not counting your residual income, which is your 6% off of your entire team. This is not counting, was the other thing I was going to say, your 5 cycle bonuses, your 10 cycle bonuses. There's so much other money to be made. So this is really just a simple diagram to show you just in bonus money that you can pretty much come out $400 ahead by you sharing with 2 and helping them share with 2. And that's what starts moving you into the leveraged income, right? So we have our Eat for Free Club that we talk about. And our Eat for Free Club is pretty much this. It's pretty much just getting to Crystal Manager. You'll be part of our Eat for Free Club, but it's also starting that income producing asset. So my next screen kind of explains that a little bit more. So Susan teaches that when network marketing is done right, about 80% of the people within your organization are just going to be customers, right? And so that's just say you've got your 80% customers, usually 12 to 13% of those people will be part of the Eat for Free Club, right? And then 2 to 3% of us really do the business. And that's a small amount, you guys. So just the fact that you're here on this call tonight, ready to learn more, just shows that you are looking for something more, right? You want to learn the way of this business. And so if you can think about identifying 10 committed consumer coaches. So basically a committed consumer coach is somebody that essentially will look at what we just showed you and they'll get excited about it. Like Morningstar did. She was already a customer. So now she's looked at this and said, okay, I can identify 10 committed consumer coaches, which she's doing. And you know what? She's reaching out to people who are already successful entrepreneurs that when they see an income producing opportunity like this to build a residual income that's then willable to their children or their grandkids or whoever the heck they want, and they can build this in the pockets of their life if they choose to, alongside of their full-time business, if that's what they're doing. I mean, it's just a business model that's really foolproof because of the way that our compensation plan works. So I just want to take you through this slide real quick. What Susan has recommended is to identify 10 committed consumer coaches and then show them this business model. Have them then identify 10 committed consumer coaches and just 10 customers. I mean, I know there's a lot of people out there praying for something that Isagenix offers. And so it shouldn't be that hard to find 10 customers, 10 people that are looking for more energy, mental clarity, better health, better performance in the gym, whatever it is, you name it. So let's just say you have your 10. We're going to go down here to this little formula. You found your 10 committed consumer coaches who also found their 10. We now have 100 committed consumer coaches within your downline, within your organization. And if each of those 100 find 10 just customers to order on a monthly basis, you now have 1,000 customers in your downline. So it grows very quickly. So imagine those 1,000 customers just are spending 100 BV a month. 100 BV will set you free. And so if you have 1,000 customers purchasing 100 BV a month, that's 100,000 BV going through your back office on a monthly basis. And we all know we get paid 6% to infinity. There is no levels. There's none of that. There's no breakaways or cutoffs, or all of your volume flows over from week to week. It never gets flushed unless you go inactive, so don't go inactive. But that's a $6,000 a month residual income. By a show of hands, who would like to have $6,000 a month coming in, whether you work or not? Residual income. I mean, multiply that by 12 months, that's 72 grand a year. It's just an incredible way to really, build this asset, which is what this is. So I'm going to stop my share. I'm going to just check the chat and see if there is any questions. Oh, my 7-minute video. Okay, I can post that. Sybil. It's the YouTube link. I have it on my phone. Let's see. Okay, yes, I will share it in the thread. Okay, awesome. No questions. So, or I should leave it open right now. Does anybody have any questions about the pencil pitch? That's just kind of the meat to it, the meat and potatoes, and I did it pretty quickly, but you get the idea of how passionate I am about this. And imagine if you just, like Star's doing right now, just reaching out to successful entrepreneurs and showing them this. Anybody, any questions or thoughts?
Who's excited about reaching out to more people?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what I did, Sybil, just to answer your question about the 7-minute video, is I created a little video of myself in my office with my whiteboards. I drew it out. And what I did was I used Eric Worre's If I Would You. And I reached out to people. And Star was one of them. She was already in my organization. She already loves Isagenix. And I reached out to her and I asked her, if I were to send you this video that I made, I'd love to get your feedback. Would you watch it? She said yes, and here she is today. Excited. So
you know how we always come into the perfect information at the perfect time, right? And it's just one of those things that we were just in perfect alignment. You know, and some of you might be asking, well, you know, why after all of these years, you know, have you, you know, just now like seen this opportunity? And, you know, I know that I needed to follow my calling into coaching. I know that I mean, that was, I had so much conviction behind that's my passion, it's my purpose. And I really wanted to pursue that wholeheartedly. And I did. And the coaching industry has really grown. And I've watched over the past few years how it has transformed. And it's become very saturated. And it's become more and more challenging for coaches to really, you know, make a name for themselves in the industry because it's so flooded. And, you know, as I'm looking around watching, you know, just recently, watching how quickly things can change, right? We've all seen things turn on a dime, right, in industry, especially with our advancing technology. And in the online world, I don't know how many people are well versed in online marketing. Anybody acquainted with online marketing strategies and using platforms and setting up marketing funnels? Anybody experienced with that here? Yep, there's a few.
Quite a few people that I know of, you know, at least four or five people on here.
Right. And most of us are aware that online social media platforms have paid advertising available, right? Everybody attuned to that. So what I've seen over the last few years is the costs of online marketing going through the roof. Literally tripling, quadrupling, so on and so forth. And so the cost of doing business online has really gone through the roof. So the investment that an online entrepreneur has to put forth in order to run with the players in the industry, even run with the big dogs, even, you know, be in the competition, right, is a really big investment. And then it requires a marketing funnel that, you know, fills seats to an event like a webinar that then feeds into strategy calls and booking clients into your products and your services. But when you really add up the investment required to do that is a lot of money, and what it's become is really pricing a lot of people out of the market, because coaching is attracting all of these, you know, entrepreneurial spirits, you know, people who, like Isagenix, want to, you know, follow their passion, make a huge impact, fulfill their purpose, fulfill a calling, you know, in helping to contribute. You know, we're really motivated by freedom, growth, and contribution. Would you agree? Would those be a few of your primary drivers? I'm not surprised to see a lot of heads nodding yes, because those are some of the values that we're naturally drawn to, that naturally call up entrepreneurs. So as I've been seeing the market shift, and I've been in the brick and mortar business ownership, and I've been in the online business ownership, I'm seeing now network marketing is a humongous opportunity, one that, like Bethanny just walked you through, offers the opportunity to build a financial asset rather than building and growing a financial liability. It's a huge liability to take thousands of dollars out of your pocket and invest in online advertising or an online business. I don't care if you're a coach or if you are promoting a product or service online, doesn't matter what industry you're in. If you're using paid advertising to do that, your budget is going to be a minimum of $2,000 a month if you want, or per campaign rather, if you want to see any traction. People are spending in the upwards of $50,000 a month on online paid advertising, and then some. So on, I mean, more and more and more. Just depends on what your budget is. So here in Isagenix, we have this opportunity. Like you're your investment is $170. and you get to, you get to check all the boxes: passion, purpose, creating an impact, create a wave, freedom, growth, and contribution.
That being said, I think we can all agree that network marketing is definitely, the evolved economy, the business of the 21st century, the gig economy, whatever it is you want to call it. It's the way of the future, and it truly is an incredible opportunity for each individual, regardless of your race, your gender, your college degree, or whatever. It's definitely a way that people can create this legacy. However, it's also sometimes challenging for people, mainly because they've never done anything like this before, or they've been into a place of, they're entering a place that's completely different. It's all changed for them. And so I want you to please help us kind of understand, maybe share with us some of your mindset hacks, or some of the key things that people can keep in mind. And some of it may be things that you guys have heard before, but I know for sure that you'll definitely learn something from Star just by listening to some of these key points that I think we all need to hear over and over again, and we just need to remind ourselves. So will you go into our mindset piece?
Sure, absolutely. And yeah, if you've heard any of this before, the good news is our brain is conditioned by repetition. So we want more of this healthy mind nutrition in our lives. So, what I found in working with online entrepreneurs closely is that, really to become a successful entrepreneur, whether you're online or whatever business you're in, it proves the 80-20 rule every time. It's 20% strategy and 80% you. And I see this day in and day out, because you can have the best vehicle, and here we have an amazing vehicle called Isagenix, but you need the right you. You need the right you. And what really knocks people down is their lack of confidence, meeting their fears, not knowing how to overcome their self-doubt, and bumping up against limiting beliefs, programs that are running on autopilot in the background, that are really, the control center of how they're really making their choices, how they're taking action or not. So, what a lot of the work that I do with entrepreneurs is really in helping to resource them with tools and skills, build their skill set, and learn techniques on how to overcome their fears when they're up against them. Because what do we know about when change happens? Change happens outside of our comfort zone, right? But how do we get ourselves out of our comfort zone day in and day out, especially when you've been knocked down? So what I found is, when people are struggling with their confidence, oftentimes it's because they just feel like they don't have the skill. They feel low in skill. And when you're experiencing anxiety, it's because you're looking at a high challenge and you feel like you're operating with a low level of skill. So this is where we want to empower ourselves with knowledge. Isagenix has all kinds of trainings at our fingertips, right? As you guys know. And if you're new here and you want to find more about the training tools and opportunity, just message the person that brought you here. But really building your knowledge, really understanding what it is that you're standing behind here. And you don't have to become an expert, right? You do not have to become an expert. You just need to know enough to speak confidently and share with confidence with other people. And where you don't have the answer to the question, all you have to say is, that's a wonderful question. I'd be happy to find the answer for you, right? You don't have to be the expert. So as you build your skill, that anxiety is going to come down because that challenge isn't going to seem so beyond your reach, right? So you build your skill with training and gaining knowledge. The other thing that that I work with entrepreneurs on is their resilience. The resilience. How do you pick yourself up when you've been knocked down? Or even better, how do you keep yourself from getting knocked down? Now, one of the things that I know that we all face, because we're human, is this experience of comparison. And I believe that we feel failure or we perceive failure as a result of comparison. You're comparing yourself to someone else, and therefore you might feel failure because you're not, measuring up to what you're comparing. Now take the comparison out. Are you going to feel the failure? No. So stop comparing yourself to other people. Because when you do, you're making who they are and their success and their progress more important than yours. You're making their opinion more important than yours. So you have to own your progress. You have to own your opinion. You have to own who you are and stand in who you are. Be authentic. Yeah.
Added, our brains were hardwired to stay the same. We have brains to keep us alive and safe, and that's the struggle. Our spirit saying yes, and our brains saying, hold up. And it's kind of a conversation about homeostasis, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
About that?
We were just having the same conversation earlier. I just love this. I love how in sync everything is. It's like this every call. It's the last 3 that I've been on. Yeah, absolutely. So our bodies, the way our bodies are designed is to strive towards homeostasis. That's again why Isagenix, I need some ionic supreme. Why Isagenix exists is to help us create a homeostatic environment in our bodies. That's why it's a wellness solution. But yeah, so we're wired to strive towards homeostasis. That's the way our brain is developed to operate. So where it identifies a threat to change, it will sabotage, it will do whatever it can to sabotage us in keeping us playing small and holding us where we are, because change is quite the opposite from homeostasis. What happens when you change? You're causing a ripple effect. You're stirring things up, and that's not really what the body wants, right? It wants to stay. So yeah, it's about overcoming those moments where, okay, so what does that look like when the body is wanting to strive towards homeostasis? It will produce fear. So fear is a perceived threat. That's all it is. It's a perceived threat. It's not even real. It's just the meaning that you're putting to a circumstance. It's just the meaning. It's a perception. So can we change that? Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, we can change it. So, we have Healthy Mind and Body in Isagenix, which is such a brilliant program because it really helps people to cultivate the inner environment to align with their health and fitness goals, right? Because it's mind, body, spirit. It's the wholeness, the whole picture that we're after here. And so that's where I, become very passionate about mindset work is because it's such a huge key component. It's a real key component to really moving into balance in mind, body, and soul. So when it comes to mindset work and overcoming your fears in that moment, it just simply requires stopping to acknowledge the thoughts that you're thinking and really taking notice of how you feel. because your thoughts are going to produce a chemical response in your body that's going to then produce a feeling. Okay, so you can always understand the quality of the thoughts that you're thinking by just checking in with how you feel. Your emotions are your guide. They are your compass every time. They do not lie, because what's that?
One of my coaches taught me the joy in the journey, right? Having the joy in the journey with everything that you're doing. You know, what can you find in that moment that is joyful or that you're grateful for, right?
Yeah. So you acknowledge the thought by acknowledging how you feel, and then you reframe. You want to reframe that thought, or you want to replace it with one that is going to have a positive vibration, one that is from neutral to positive, right? Neutral to positive, because everything is energy, and our thoughts have a measured vibration. So when we want to move forward, when we want to face our fears, when we want to push our comfort zone, it requires for us to get into a positive state of mind. Now, one of the quickest, surefire ways to do that is to think of anything you're grateful for. It does not matter what it is, because again, it's about the vibration of the thought that you're thinking. So in a place of self-doubt, ask yourself, what are you grateful for? What am I grateful for right now? And then hold that thought. Hold that thought, because after a few seconds, it's going to attract another thought with a similar vibration, because like attracts like. And hold that thought. And you just keep inviting those thoughts. I actually do a gratitude exercise when I wake up in the morning. It's the very first thing I do. Before I let my mind go to my to-do list or reach for my phone, I force myself to lay there and think of everything I can think of that I'm grateful for, because it aligns my energy and my vibration and my mindset for the day, so that I'm better equipped to handle the bumps in the road. So this is a part of the healthy mind nutrition I was talking about earlier.
Can I add to that?
Please do.
Also, having that visualization, you know, there's a lot of leaders that talk about before you pick up that phone to make those calls, or before you get on Messenger to send those messages to people, you know, close your eyes for 1 minute and visualize the outcome of all the people you're helping. And it could even just be you visualizing them saying, thank you so much for introducing me to Isagenix. Thank you for changing my health. And just really visualizing it. A smile will come on your face when you do that. And that really, when you have that smile, that's when you really know you're feeling it, right? And there's a great book called Feeling is the Secret. I highly recommend it for everybody. It's by Neville Goddard. If you get it on Audible, it's a 27-minute audio. I listen to it between here and my hiking spot. Exactly 27 minutes. So
yeah, I love that. I love that too. Feel the way you want to feel as a result of the outcome that you want. Feel it right now. Get yourself into the feeling of what it will feel like when you achieve that goal. Because again, like attracts like, and all the work we really have to do within ourselves is stay committed to how we feel. Because your feelings dictate your choices. Who's woken up like anytime and you think to yourself, I don't want to go to the gym. So you don't go to the gym, right? You let that thought overpower whatever else it was that, you know, that you were going to do. So then there's this trickle down effect. You know, there's a domino effect to that. You didn't go to the gym, so you didn't fuel up your body for the day. You didn't get the gas revving. And then, you know, what else didn't you do? What else was compromised in that day because you didn't take care of your state? Right? This is another thing that I work with people on, is changing your state, you know, really getting into the state of flow. So when we make choices based on how we feel, then, you know, we really want to be very selective, right? And if how we feel isn't aligned with the choices that we really want to make, then we need to take responsibility and get ourselves into that state so we can keep our eye on the prize, stay focused on the choices that are going to lead us into the result, right? Because the choice that you make dictates the actions that you take. And the actions you take dictate the results that are going to show up for you. And then you do that over and over and over again, and it causes a loop. So your beliefs create your reactions, your beliefs create your thoughts create your feelings create your choices create your actions, and your actions create your results. So if you want better results in your life, start paying attention to the beliefs that you have about what is possible for you.
Those of you that follow Michael Klaus, he teaches the philosophy, right? Whatever your philosophy is, which is your beliefs. What's your philosophy? Your philosophy is all your beliefs, right? You're going to act upon that. That's your action, which gets you your result, which gets you your, and I love the way Michael says it, your lifestyle. Any of you listen to his podcast, he always says lifestyle, not just lifestyle, your lifestyle. Yeah, that's a great lesson. So Star, we have 10 minutes left. I want to make sure that Sybil and Trisha can add in to that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many great takeaways and little nuggets there for everybody. Sybil, Trisha, I don't know who wants to go first. Anybody? Go ahead, Syb.
All right. Okay, so we're just kind of talking about getting yourself into that place that you're ready to kind of tackle anything that comes your way. And I did just write in the chat thread, crank up some Beyonce and, you know, be her for a moment and get your hair going and, you know, all that stuff. Because right, Trisha, I mean, you've got this much, but do it, you know. And I think that that's something that we learned from Brendon Burchard, is that you've just got to get yourself in the place that you're going to come off the way that you intended to come off. And, you know, that's another piece, which is setting your intention. When I have to make a call that I really don't want to do, I do try to plan it early in the day, kind of like the chicken list, get the bad stuff out of the way so that you can really be grateful for the rest of your day, not having to be icky. And, oh yeah, work. Yeah, she does, driving, I think in her fabulous Porsche or Bentley or something. And last I checked, she had a driver and it wasn't Jim. But I think that whatever it is that's always been really a great feeling for you, like I was raised in a really musical household, so there was always music on. And when things started being like Bluetooth and we had little speakers everywhere, I always made playlists for every trip that we went on. And the first day of school, my children, I'm sure, would love to tell you this story, but whatever the theme was of that summer, like there was always a one song that really stuck out as something that really kind of told the story of the summer. My kids knew the first day of school, I would set up that speaker as loud as I could. And that's just because we just were a very musical family. And to this day, my kids are kind of like, what's going on? It's kind of quiet. Where's all the music? And we always had it going. So it brings back really good feelings in my memory. And so I like to associate music with getting kind of into state. Last year, when they were launching the holiday Season's Joy essence oil, they were talking a lot about how those memories and smells elicit just really good feelings and can have a huge effect into getting us into state. And of course, you know, working like in a boiled egg factory, you can imagine that that's not really probably the best experience that those people have with smelling eggs after they get off work, right? So just always kind of keep really good juju around you. I love the smell of grapefruit. I love the smell of lemon. So I've got lemon going at all times. But right now I've got Season's Joy going because it really does change it. Living in Arizona, we can almost like fake it into another season, even though it's not winter. We can pretend like with those fragrances and putting on Christmas music. So I'm all about getting into state and having to make it happen in your own head, in your own heart, before you get on the call. And I know when we used to just have to rely on the phone in my previous company to call people, to prospect, we had a mirror. I had a mirror on my desk that I would look in, and I'd be smiling when I would be talking because I had to make a call and I wasn't really sure how it was going to go. But if I was smiling, at least it was going to come off really good and happy. So those are just some little tips. So smells, smiles, Beyonce, or I do love Macklemore. Some country never got me upset. A little Blake Shelton every now and then. So those are kind of just my little styles and way that I do it. So take it away, Trish.
Awesome. Well, I know we only have a few minutes, but I'm just loving it. I wish you guys could see how many pages I just filled in my book, because this stuff is like I love this stuff. I mean, when you were talking morning, you were like speaking my language. A couple thoughts I had. I love how you talked about comparison, and I've always loved the idea of like the horse racing, and I've shared this with you a few times, but in horse racing they wear those blinders. And the reason why they wear these blinders is because these horses are incredible beasts. They run so fast, but even the very best runners in the world, if they were beat a little bit, sometimes it would just shut them down. Like they couldn't handle. And sometimes they went as far as to break their spirit and they never raced again, And I'm sitting here thinking about like that horse was beautiful and fast in the top of their game, but because one horse just was ahead that day, it broke their spirit. And so I think that's a really good lesson, because sometimes those horses lose several times, then go on to be the fastest horse in the world for years, right? And so it's just a good lesson to keep those blinders on and not compare. Love that so much. And then the other thought I had, and it was really what Sybil was saying, it's just the senses, right, Sybil? You're talking about the senses, like all the different senses: smell, sound, action. We've shared a couple times that action changes emotion, and we've all, we joke around about the phrase fake it till you make it, but it's real. It's a real thing. It's a real thing. I mean, in every area of our life, like there's so many days that I don't want to go to the gym, but then I start the action of going to the gym. Before you know it, I'm there and I'm so happy. Or I don't want to sit down and work, but then I sit my butt in the chair and I start working, and before you know it, I've shared my story 1 or 2 times, and now I'm like, can't wait to keep working because I'm so happy. All right. Or you're really super tired and your spouse comes in and wants something. It's hard, right? Fake it till you make it. Like you get into action and all of a sudden you're in, So I love those things. Like, are we committed or are we not? Are we committed or are we not? Like, choose your hard. This is my hard. And it is the greatest thing, like the girl shared earlier. This is the greatest thing in the world. Like, where else can you become financially independent, have so much fun, build a community of friends, help people, like serve? Like, it literally checks off every single flipping box. Like, I am no longer a square peg in a round hole. Like, I fit perfectly in Isagenix, and I'm so, so, so grateful. So yeah, I mean, I just love everything you guys shared. It's so amazing, because how bad we want it. If we want it, follow what these girls said, and you're going to see beautiful things happen.
Awesome. Well, everybody, it is the top of the hour. Thank you so much, Star.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Trisha and Sybil. Yeah, you guys are so awesome. It's just so fun to be here and be a part of this group. I just really appreciate all of you so much. So thank you.
Shall we do a 1, 2, 3 Isagenix?
Well, I just have to say one thing really fast. I'm so sorry, but Morningstar, like you just added so much value to us tonight. Thank you so much. I'm so grateful that Bethanny came on. And one of the points of these calls is to rise up new leaders and let you guys like get exposed to these wonderful people. And I share this simply because what is it, Pam or Robert?
Oops.
Hang on, Trisha, hang on, you're muted.
I don't know what just happened. Where did I leave off?
Pam or Robert, and then you're
Yeah, or
muted.
Ivy or whoever it is, you know, Sylvie, like, what is it that you're passionate about? Like, what are your skill sets that you could bring to the table that would add so much value to us? Because I guarantee there's something inside of you that we all need to hear that would better all of us. All right, and that's what this is about, because not all of us are great at mindset. Not all of us are amazing at enrolling. Not all of us have all the skills, but together we do some really pretty, beautiful things. So anyway, thank you guys.
Absolutely. So right, Trisha. Thank you, everybody. 1, 2, 3, Isagenix. 1, 2, 3.
Isagenix.
Hold on, I'm gonna mute everybody. Let's do that again. Oh, there we go.
1,
again,
2, 3.
Isagenix.
You all have a great night.
Good night.
Thank you
Thank you
guys.
guys so much.
Good night. Look for the recording.